I wish I had known these 4 things before I started trading. Turns out there are 4 different ways to see the markets, 4 different ways of understanding the markets, 4 different ways of making decisions, 4 different ways of trading the markets, and ultimately it comes down to understanding where you are in this whole scheme of things and what's the best way for you. So stick around and I'll give you my forecast a little bit later in this video. All right, on the surface level, the first level, it's just the data itself. You watch television and they say the Dow's up 168 points, so you look at your computer and you see some graph with price action on a particular chart. It's all visible. You see it in front of you. You don't understand what it means except that if you see the market rallying, it looks like it's going to go up, and probably you hope it'll go up further. If you see it go down and it's trending lower, well, I guess it's going to go lower. But you don't have any more information than that. It's very superficial. On the same level, you could hear the fundamental information that's coming across. Well, they raised interest rates today, 0.25%, whatever. Or there's some event happening in Washington, D.C., or some particular stock had good earnings or bad earnings. And it seems as if it should mean X, but it oftentimes means Y. So how do you understand the fundamentals and how do you put the pieces together to get the right answer? This is the hard part. The second level is technical analysis. You have different ways of figuring out the internals, the blood pressure of this market. It tells you when there's real momentum underneath the market. It tells you that the moving average of the last 20 or 30 days is rallying, indicating the trend is probably continuing. You could tell by various oscillators and measurements of internal volume how much buying, how much selling is happening. This is the second method. And there are numerous forms of technical analysis, and they have some merit, but to find the right one and to understand how to use them in conjunction, it can be still quite complicated. Next is an example like Ray Dalio's economic machine. But before we go any further, I want you to know what we teach in our course, which is coming up in 2 weeks, by the way, is a very unified understanding of how to combine the various pieces and the various viewpoints about the market in a simple way. The third level is to have a theoretical model, a way of understanding how the market works, a complete understanding. For example, Ray Dalio has a thing he calls the economic machine and how it works. He views the machine of the economy in exactly a similar way over and over and over again, and he simply needs to know where we are in the development of a particular market or the development of an economic cycle, okay? And this is oftentimes, again, extremely useful but very complicated. And it takes a lot of knowledge and a lot of mastery in order to do it. The fourth level, which is the deepest level, which is the most invisible of all, is that value of time. People don't know how to measure time subjectively. If you're in a good mood on a given day, you may think time is moving really fast. You may think an hour just happened in 5 minutes. If you're in the dentist's office and he's doing some drilling, it may seem like an hour and it's only 3 minutes. So time subjectively is very, very difficult to pin down. So we find objective ways of measuring it. We have the sun come up, and then the sun comes up the next day, and we call that a day, right? 24 hours. And there's a lunar position, the new moon comes up, and then a month later, 29 and a half days later, it comes up again. So we measure time in terms of objective things that you can see, that you can rely upon as being fixed and non-changing, okay? In such a way, if you can master the rhythms of the market, if you can locate the invisible cycles of time and know where you are in the unfoldment of time, you have a huge advantage. You know the famous expression, timing is the key. It's all about time. It's all about buying at the right time or selling at the right time. The whole point is hitting the right moment. And if you understand how cycles work and you understand the more profound levels of understanding of mathematics, and you understand how deeply simple nature actually works, you have a tremendous advantage. We talk about history repeating. We show you examples of cycles repeating in the present market, and we teach you how you can figure it out yourself. So here's my forecast on the S&P. We were expecting a low coming in on the 7th of August, and we thought that might be a way to get into the rally that we expect to be coming later. At this point, the decline did happen as expected between the 2nd and 7th. However, there is still a window until the 21st of August where additional and potentially lower prices will happen, and we're looking at the possibility of about 4,400 is still possible. Not a guarantee. So what do? Well, what we would do, and what we have been doing, is we're thinking about putting half of our position on now and wait until somewhere around the 21st of August for the full position to be put on the long side. Now, after that, we're expecting a rally until late August. Around the 27th of August is a high. There's another high around September 18th, which may be higher. And we're expecting a decline phase between September 18th and late October. Somewhere around the 25th of October is the expected low. And that could be a very significant decline. In the meanwhile, higher prices are likely. We're expecting a little bit more potential pullback, or at least sideways, until the 21st of August. That would be one way to get the bulls out of the market, is to get them bored. The other way is to shake out the bulls with a little bit deeper correction. But whatever it is, this is meant to be bought. The market is still in an uptrend, and any pullbacks here should be bought. And they should be held until the end of August, or at least the end of August, and possibly as late as September 18th. And if you want to know more about our course, which is coming up in 2 weeks, check the information below.